we obviously have done a lot on New Zealand in one-day cricket, but I mean it's just worth mentioning the the numbers again. I mean they've just been beaten 3-0, hammered really, to be honest. 5 wickets in the first two games and a 2-wicket win in the third game in Wellington. That's something of a fight back, but they never really didn't score enough runs. Honestly, Harmy, they've won four of their last 15 ODIs, with three of those four coming against the West Indies, who are the only team ranked below them, who they've beaten. That's one of their last 12 against a top eight team. They could be heading for they could miss out on pre-qualification. They could be heading to the qualifying tournament, which will be held in Harare. They'll be up against the likes of, I don't know, Nepal and Papua New Guinea and so, I mean Zimbabwe are automatic qualifiers as co-hosts. Honestly, it's befuddling.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it'll be hilarious if it does, because I think that's in July, isn't it? And that's the same
Yeah.
time the hundred's on. So which England team goes there would be. I think we all ridiculed South Africa for sending a C team to New Zealand. But if that happened and England had to send, it'd be interesting. I tell you what, that central contract conversation at the start of this show might come home to roost when it comes to the fact that England might have to go to Harare and qualify. Look, I mean, the takeaway from this series is Brendon McCullum, he's just taking over the white ball job, and he is. I'm not saying he's not. From a 50 over point of view, I think we are. I mean, muddled thinking is just ridiculous. I think T20 cricket, we are a fantastic side. We are probably one of the favourites for the World T20, and we should go on and win it. I'd love to see us go on and win it. But 50 over cricket is basically being played by the T20. It's a T20 mentality. And if Joe Root doesn't score runs, and there's a high, I don't know what you've said, the stats and the numbers, but if Joe Root doesn't score runs, we don't bat 42 overs. We've been 35, 36, 40 overs bowled out. And if Joe Root scores runs, we win more percentages of games. He has in the recent past. And that's staggering. It really is, because you can't win games if you only bat 40 overs. And it's as simple as that. We've all said the same thing. You listen to the podcast, you listen to Nasser and Athers, it's a brilliant podcast. Butch the same. We're not having a go for the sake of having a go. The numbers are there. It's a 50 over contest. We're not very good at the minute in 50 over cricket. We're 8th in the world, potentially going to Harare. We've got to bat 50 overs. There's a start. Bat 50 overs, back your bowlers to then win the game for you. But if you only bat 40, less than 40, 42 overs, you ain't winning it. You don't deserve to win games. And that, unfortunately, is where England's white ball cricket's at. The message from McCullum is obviously coming through Brook and Harry Brook saying, we just got to go harder. We've just got to go harder. He said that after the first game. I mean, I think there was 9 players faced 12 ball or less. How on earth can you go harder? I mean, I think 6 of them faced less than 10 balls. And you're saying going harder. This is unfortunately where it's back to bit. For me, it should be just back to basics of 50 over cricket. Can you bat 50 overs with the 11 you've got? And if they do, they'll score a very, very good score. At this moment in time, they're not using the brains enough to bat 50 overs. They're batting less than 40. I mean, even in the qualifying competitions in Harare, if you don't bat 50 overs against the emerging nations, there's a chance they'll beat you. So it is just frustrating to watch that 50 over side when you look at the T20 side and how good that T20 side is.
It just seems to me quite simple, Harmy, that they've forgotten one of the basic tenets of 50 over cricket is that, well, I'm just echoing what you just said. It's a long time. It's a lot of, and it just seems perhaps subconsciously beneath them to take time out. It seems like they don't want to be seen to have only scored 15 from 40 balls. Sometimes you just got to, they're very good at T20 cricket. So turn it into a T20 game. Have that mentality. I remember when I was learning how to run a marathon. You know, my coach said, you know, you can run 10Ks quite well, or you know, you can run 20. So just treat the build up to it as a, you know, just get to the start line
Mhm.
relatively fresh and unscathed. I mean, it's not rocket science. This is why Scott Taylor's such a brilliant producer. He's just sent me a note as we're broadcasting. 7 times Joe Root has scored 50 plus. England have made over 300, and 7 times this in the last calendar year, and 7 times, or just over a year, 7 times he's hasn't reached 50. England haven't reached 250.
There you go.
So I mean, that's absolutely graphic, isn't it? But England need to have another couple of batsmen with the same mentality. So you look at Joe's. I mean, he ticks over. He'll score at a
Well,
run
it's
a
Joe's
ball.
fault.
But Joe's very, very good at ticking over at a runner ball and batting for a long period of time because he's England's most technically proficient batsman. But if necessary, and this has happened, you know, Joe will reach 50 off 70 balls,
Mhm.
and then you've got the firepower at the back end, and you know you're very good at T20 cricket. It's just
But
like you
in white ball
can't
cricket,
go hard for 50 overs.
the art of white ball cricket from a batting point of view is, can you put the bowler under pressure, and can you keep putting the bowler under pressure? It's when the bowler's on top of you, can you withstand the pressure that the bowler's putting on? And at this moment in time, England are struggling in 50 over cricket to go through them passages of play when the bowler is having a little bit of on top. I look at this. I look at this England team. Brendon McCullum says it's the best players we've got. He's right, 100% right, and I will never argue with him.
Actually, let's hold that thought because let's hear Brendon McCullum saying exactly that.
I believe these are the best players in the country in this format. Not everyone fires all at the same time, and there's times where if you have enough guys who are struggling at the same time, then you're obviously going to be under the pump, and I think that's what we've seen in this series. And I firmly believe in the group of players that we've got, and we know that in a couple of years' time there's a World Cup in South Africa in this form of the game, and you know, I think I see majority of these guys that are in the squad are going to be present in that, and we've got to give them the time and keep working towards the combinations that you want for a tournament like that. Clearly, we need to win games beforehand to make sure that we're in that tournament. But that's what's in front of us, and that's the things we'll be talking about after the series for sure.
And there you go, England head coach Brendon McCullum. Yes, what you just said.
And
They are the best players. He's got the best players.
they are. And if you, and Manners, I mean, we've been around the world. We've been India. We've been into to sort of New Zealand. We've been to the Caribbean. If you think 50 overs is middle of the day, England more often than not 250, 264, 2, 3, whatever in a Test match. I mean, if you rock out England's batting in a Test match, 3 slips in a gully this summer on the good pitches we've had. I mean, England would have fared better playing with a red ball against 50 overs than they would with a white ball in New Zealand against 36, 37, 40 overs that they faced. So it's mindset. It comes down to the mindset for me, and it comes down, and this is what possibly is going to concern me. I'm not going to accuse them of being soft. They're not soft. But what they are is when they get in times of contest, big contest, that's what Ashes cricket does. That's what playing against India does. That's what playing against the best teams in the world. If you want to be the best team in the world, you have to respect the contest you're in. Sometimes England either blow that contest away, or in recent past, they've laid down, and unfortunately, they've made kamikaze mistakes that they haven't been able to recover from when they're in a big contest against a good bowler or on a pitch which has got a little bit in it. And that, for me, is slightly concerning with a month to go before the biggest series that these guys will play in the last sort of 2 or 3 years.
Just confirmation, by the way, that Bangladesh and the West Indies are currently below England, although Bangladesh have 11 ODIs against Zimbabwe and Ireland next year. So if England continue to lose and Bangladesh win those games, they could climb above England. And the possibility of England playing in that pre-qualifier is real. I mean, scary as that thought is. Although South Africa were in a very similar situation, similar position before the last World Cup, although they did qualify automatically, but they sort of made peace with the fact and said, you know what? And Temba Bavuma started to say, if we have to go, we have to go. If we have to pre-qualify, then that's what.
Yeah, but it's it's fine Temba Bavuma saying that, but if it was in January in Harare, I don't think Temba Bavuma would be saying the same when the SA20 was on. And I would imagine Golden Thompson might have something to say that what we're going to do if we have to go pre-qualifying, what team are we going to send? Because we've just sold a competition for 550 million. I don't think they'd be too happy if Harry Brook has to go away and do a pre-qualifying when he's just, the 100's just been sold. That's how real this is. And that, for me, should be a wake-up call to the hierarchy to make sure that these new round of central contracts that have come out, the improvement in 50 over cricket has got to be there. Because if it's not, that scenario, I don't think it'll ever come to that, but it's close. And that's embarrassing.